Hey guys, Rogue Orange here. This pile of what seemingly seems to be a bunch of junk are actually Nintendo and Sony factory test cartridges. And today, we're gonna look through all of them. The first one I'm picking up is less of a cartridge and more like just kind of a breakout board, but this is a USB breakout board, what I assume is for the PlayStation Vita. I'll be 100% transparent, I bought this on eBay a long time ago, not even knowing if this is actually legit. I mean, if you look, you see all this glue surrounding the port that plugs into the Vita, and you have this really nicely soldered USB, but again, you have this glue here, this glue surrounding this this piece here. I'm not sure why. And if you flip it over, you can see there's really not much of anything going on other than the fact that it was meant to be a breakout board. And the date for it says September 20th, 2011, so that at least seems to check out, being around the time of the Vita's production. And I also don't have a Vita that I could properly test this with, considering I don't even know what this thing does. I mean, the I/O there, I assume that's power, like this was supposed to be some kind of USB power breakout board, like this was supposed to give the Vita power or something, but I'll be honest, I don't really know for sure. Then we have this Nintendo DS factory cartridge. As you can see, it has characters right there along with the text UTL-01, and that's really the only thing for certain that I can show you because I couldn't tell you what this thing actually does. The label is pretty much gone, and if you flip it to the back, the cartridge shell is in absolutely horrible condition. The pins on here are very, very worn, as well as exposed. And not only that, but this whole thing just looks like it got like hit by a truck or something. And I've tried it on my 2DS, but I just can't get it to work. Then we have this cartridge, which is falling apart actively in my hands as I try to hold it, but this is another Nintendo DS factory cartridge. Here's what the label is supposed to look like. I'll put it right there on the screen, but you're gonna see that this thing doesn't even have a back anymore. I mean, it did originally, but there was so little of it left that it actually broke off as I tried to finagle this thing and get it to work. And in all honesty, I actually did sort of get it to work, but it also crashed my DS. So I don't know if it's like a software firmware mismatch or what, but like I just could not get this thing to actually play anything. And when I dumped it, the files were also very weird. But either way, this one is pretty cool. Maybe once I get a replacement cartridge shell for this thing, I could get it to work, maybe clean up some of this glue. It should work, I hope. Next, we have something of substance, and that would be this CTR Flash 4GB cartridge for the Nintendo 3DS. Don't ask me why the cartridge label is cut. I'm not too sure, but that's just how it came to be. And also, the label is quite a bit faded, but overall, it is in very good condition. Those pins look almost factory new. They hardly look like they've been ever used. And that's why I also turned on my 2DS, because I can at least show you that there is something on here worthwhile. And of course, it's not going to appear on the main screen, or at least I don't think it will. Yeah, it's not going to show up there, but if we go to the dev menu, which is available on HShop, if you can believe it, you don't need a developer unit to use this application, as long as you have a modded 2DS or 3DS. You can do it, and it says unknown card. So yeah, it doesn't want to play. That's very weird, because the last time I tried to use this, it did at least bring up something. But I'm gonna finagle with this, and I'm gonna try to get it working. Believe me, man, I'm trying here, and the spring in my 2DS suddenly is working like total crap, so very interesting that suddenly this cartridge just doesn't want to work, but that's okay, we got plenty more to look at. Keeping up with the 3DS, we have this, a gyroscope test cartridge. Now, this is not a complete set. This is a cartridge that would have been used on a gyroscope rig at the Foxconn factory where they were producing the Nintendo 3DS. As for its appearance, it has the same look of the Nintendo DS developer flash cartridges, but it has a little bit more going on. It's got this metal bracket holding everything together, which is very interesting. It also has this breakout board plugged into the connector down here and goes well past the limits of the physical cartridge itself. It also has this little connector at the top, which again would have helped it plug into the gyroscope rig at Foxconn. I don't have the rig. That would be insanely cool to have, but at least I have the cartridge and I can at least show you what it does. And as you see, when you plug it in, you get this warning symbol icon in the cartridge thing. So when we power it on, it's going to tell us to wait. It's going to tell us to wait. It's going to tell us to wait. All right, and while we wait, we're going to read the top here. It says test version 1.11, 002 out of 031, 94050, prepare for test, all in brackets, and the timer that has yet to start. Yeah, it's kind of just frozen. I'm having a bit of bad luck right now because this seems to just not want to work, which is quite interesting. I'm pressing every single button, moving every single thing that I can here. Home button, everything, volume, something. Nothing's even happening. Nothing's happening. And if this was connected to the gyroscope machine, then yes, something probably would happen. Usually this kind of just fails the test automatically because it can't detect the machine. But for whatever reason, this time, because it can't detect the machine, it doesn't know what to do. And it might actually be, the program might have actually crashed or something like that, because usually the timer at least starts for a few seconds and then fails, whereas of here, the timer hasn't started and it's on this wait screen. I'm tapping it. I've pressed every button. It's not doing nothing. So again, at least this has some substance. I can at least show you what this does. Unfortunately, I can't go, like I said, I can't go back to the home screen, so I'm probably gonna have to just hard reset this console. All right, let's move on to the other 3DS factory cartridges that we got. Starting off with this one reads N00487 with no other visible markings. It's in pretty good condition, all be told. Alright, and there we go. We see we got the warning symbol icon once again where the game normally would show up. And we get the 3DS splash screen. And there you go. We get a nice little menu to start off. We got CTR EVA mode aging import version 5.70, last update November 21st 2014 at 6:34:34, test sequence check code 5152 with configuration check code 5993. And if we press this A button here, we're going to see what aging import tests will do. And immediately, refresh rate on the camera is not going to pick it up, but the screen right now is actually flickering. I don't know if you can see it on screen, but it is actually testing the flicker of this screen to make sure that it's working. And if you press A again, it's going to take you into a program called Aging Program Importer 5.70. Write start log and import aging program. Press A to start. And you're going to see write production log start file rom cia aging.master-ols.cia delete old aging program past not found, now importing. And as you can see there, it is in fact importing. Not sure what this is going to do, but I assume it's going to do, I don't know, something. And what I believe this does, and I believe this doesn't really change anything. I believe that if you go back into the program, it's going to be pretty much the same. And as you see, when we start up our DS once again, we have a new gift on our home screen, and we open it, and suddenly we have another test program. Let's see what it does. Let's hope it does something. I hope. Doesn't want to seem to do anything, so I think we'll just go back to the cartridge. Alright, we are back. Let's go and see if we can find some other programs on here. Because there should be other programs on here that I'm aware of, at least. Anyways, we'll just go back to the flicker test, and again, I don't know if there's really anything else we can do with this. I remember there was supposed to be a way that we could actually, like, jump to other programs using, like, some kind of hidden menu. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, don't hit all the buttons at once, because then we get the aging program import again, and that's just gonna install the non-working program onto this 2DS. So I think this one is... we've seen enough. Let's move on. Next, we have this 3DS test factory cartridge, this time in yellow. On top here on the front, it says Z001725. And on the back, we have a piece of tape with the text LCD key, which... not sure if that really gives away what this thing was for, but let's plug it in and see what it does. And sure enough, we get the same icon again. Alright, and we get a new screen. It says, again, CTR EVA, but this time it says Mode Import, version 2.30, last update July 27th, 2015, 8:33:09. Test sequence check code 1026, configuration check code 9915. So, what happens when we press A to start? And it fails. Instantly, it fails. And there's a very good reason here. As we read the text on top, it'll say test version 2.30, import 00330 32-011 check blank SD. This is a test for the SD card to see if it's blank, and clearly on a modded system it is not. And the message says root directory entry num is not 0, system volume information Nintendo 3DS DCIM Luma 3DS GM9 config theme splashes and cheats. It actually tells you that not only did it fail, but the reason why it failed, and that's because of all the folders and system volumes that are on the SD card. So unless I put a blank SD card in here, this test will always fail. And as you see here, it also says result fail, total fail 32-011-306. So this tests the SD card, which to me is incredibly interesting. Finally, we have these 3 factory testing cards for the DSi. Now, despite their somewhat different looking appearance in terms of color, these all do exactly the same thing. So in reality, we only need to talk about just the one. As already mentioned, it's got this blue label with the Nintendo logo on the front towards the bottom, and it says aging TWL, and it also says aging TWL again, but half of it being in Japanese, and TWL meaning Twilight, which was the production nickname for the Nintendo DSi. And what aging means is pretty much, it means a stress test for the hardware. You know, how far can you push the hardware before it starts having issues, and that's what these cartridges were made for. So let's put it in our 2DS and see what happens. And there you go, we have it up on our screen. For some reason, any cartridge that doesn't have a proper name or title just defaults to Hugo, and that's in reference to my my Agent Hugo prototype that I dropped last year. That video was pretty sick, I loved it. But for whatever reason, my 2DS, whenever it encounters one of these cartridges without proper naming and icons, it kind of just defaults to Hugo. For some reason, it did that when I looked at the GeoTrip cartridge as well. So either way, it's going to fire up just fine. And as you see, it starts off automatically and makes a really loud noise. And you can see it says Kenji Team with a check mark there. And now it's going to begin testing of the CPU, the NVMe, 16, 32-bit, and 8-bit, respectively. And looks like it's going to pass, thank goodness. I don't know what it would do if it failed. And now you see what this cartridge does. It quite literally puts this thing under a stress test, an automatic stress test that I have no control over. I'm not hitting any buttons at all. And you can see you press buttons and you press the A button, nothing is going to happen. And I press start, again, nothing is going to happen. And that's what's interesting about this, is that there's no options. You don't get a choice. It just starts up and just does the test. So I'm totally cool with it doing that, because I just think that these types of cartridges are insanely interesting. And to conclude, that's all this cartridge does. I'm not aware that it does anything else. I think it just does this little test, and that's it. Because this white screen, it's been up for a while, and it's not doing anything else, so I assume the test is over. Overall, I think these factory cartridges are just super awesome. I love having them. They're so fun to collect because there's so many different kinds, and the thrill of not really knowing what's going to be on these is, to me, the best part. And that's going to do it for this video on factory test cartridges and breakout boards. Look at that, we have an outro screen now. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell. Check out my channel page to be sure you don't miss new uploads. Use my affiliate code ORANGE, or use the affiliate link in my description for Poggers to save 10% on your first order. All my social links are also down in the description. Anyways, my name's been Rogue Orange, and I'll see you next week. Peace.